that? Do you feel like you belong here on this team?
Obviously, I think overall as a player, I feel like I put in the work. I feel like everything I do, I try to do it to my best, and that's all I ask for. So
when it comes to the 3s and 4s that you're playing with that aren't going to be on the squad and not going to make the team, give your quarterback a chance. Okay, you know what? You know they can't hold up that long. Let's play quick game. Let's play quick game just to get Shedeur in the goddamn rhythm. But no, you come out, call them regular offensive plays that are very long.
When they're at practice, Shedeur Sanders is not their priority. When he is at practice, he was staying hours.
Last night, Shedeur Sanders stumbled in a way that no one could have predicted. After the contest, you could see it on his face, broken, frustrated, and plagued with uncertainties like never before. Stanzik, with his relentless pressure, transformed our star boy into the punchline, breaking the confidence that had been his rock. In an emotional time, Shedeur Sanders opened up, taking responsibility for the issue. But you could tell deep down the weight of it all was taking a toll. He admitted that he still belongs in the locker room. And while he's determined to put in the work, it's apparent that Stanzik has managed to break a piece of his spirit.
I think with all of our players, Mary Kay, there's things that we can do better, and there's some good moments out there, but that's what our job as coaches, to develop our guys.
Stefanski, however, was adamant that his men were doing well and that it was Shedeur who was to blame. When questioned about the fact that Shedeur had been practicing with the 3rd and 4th team players throughout the week and whether that could have contributed to his mishap, Stefanski remained steadfast. Instead of acknowledging that Shedeur might have been more prepared if he had received reps with the first team players, Stefanski ridiculed the concept. He simply stated that as a coach, he wants to develop his youngsters. But is this really how a coach should treat one of his prospects? Not giving him a single chance with the team repetitions, then throwing him into a scenario where he is required to run a play he's never practiced? To make matters worse, Stefanski made Shedeur into the punchline of the entire game, putting him on display in front of the whole world. After witnessing what unfolded with Shedeur Sanders, it's becoming increasingly evident that he was set up for a disaster from the very beginning. Stephen A. Smith made a powerful statement when Shedeur started his first preseason game, and it's resonating more today than ever. He stated the Browns were setting up Shedeur Sanders for failure. And looking at how everything played out, it's hard to argue with that. From the lack of team reps to the poor play calling, it feels like the whole event was a setup.
Answer this question by saying Shedeur Sanders, and I'm going to tell you why. I think he's being set up to fail.
Skip Bayless also weighed in on the situation, condemning the Browns for how they've treated Shedeur Sanders, calling it the worst conceivable approach. He pointed out that this seemed to be part of a worrying pattern with Shedeur repeatedly being mismanaged by Stefanski and the Browns. According to Skip, it wasn't just a one-time blunder. It was clear that Shedeur wasn't being given the opportunity or support he deserved. The way the Browns have handled him has only compounded the burden, making it harder for him to succeed.
Outraged, I'm sickened, and I'm saddened. By the way, Shedeur continues to be treated in the National Football League, now by those sorry-ass Browns and sorry-ass Kevin.
Despite everything that transpired, Shedeur Sanders never uttered a single word of criticism about his coach or anyone else. Instead, he took full responsibility for his performance and focused on what he could manage. Shedeur admitted that there are plenty of areas where he has to improve and made it obvious that he's committed to putting in the work to get better. His approach was all about growth and learning from the experience, refusing to allow the setback to define him. Like a seasoned veteran, Shedeur Sanders fully owned his mistakes, acknowledging that he could have kept his eyes in better spots during those runs and made smarter decisions to keep the offense moving. He didn't shy away from the blame, taking responsibility for every sack that occurred, saying that those were all on him. It was a mature, self-aware reaction, showing that he understands the game and is ready to learn from the experience.
What it was, it's definitely a different place where I could have got my eyes in better spots and got to the progressions quicker and regardless of anything, so All those sacks, they definitely on.
However, analysts are perceiving things differently from Shedeur Sanders. They believe that the true fault lies with Stanczyk and how he handled the situation. Ushinkanu weighed in, claiming that by inserting Shedeur in a lineup with offensive guys that aren't even going to make the roster, Stanczyk set him up for failure. Ushinkanu made a bold statement, saying that even if you put someone like Tom Brady in that identical circumstance, the outcome would have been no different. With such offensive players around him, Shedeur was always going to struggle. The blame, according to observers, falls squarely on the coaching staff for not giving him a fair shot. Ushinkanu also predicted that the detractors would soon start to surface, calling Shedeur Sanders a failure, stating he's nothing more than a fifth-string quarterback. However, someone pointed out that no one would be talking about the real issue that set Shedeur up to perform in this manner in the first place. Despite all the criticism, Ushinkanu made it obvious that this is just part of the narrative to bring him down. No matter what occurs, it's evident that certain people are determined to knock him down rather than acknowledge the genuine circumstances surrounding his performance.
Listen, we see it. We see it clear as day. But they just on it, oh, he played bad. He's ass. He sucked. He's a fifth rounder. He's not that good. Well, of course, yes, based on what you saw today. But we're trying to tell you why it looked.
Ocho Cinco expressed his anxiety, noting that watching everything unfold has him worried for Shedeur Sanders' future, especially if he finishes up on another team. He pointed out that the name Sanders alone draws a significant amount of attention, even if Shedeur isn't the starting quarterback. This added spotlight could create a challenging environment for him, as teams may struggle to shift around the extra pressure and distractions that come with his high-profile name. O believes that this could potentially place Shedeur in a tough spot, making it harder for him to thrive in a new system. In the end, Shedeur Sanders has shown immense maturity and resilience in how he handled the consequences of his problems. Despite the pressure and criticism, he took full responsibility for his mistakes on the field, acknowledging areas where he could have performed better. His attitude tells volumes about his character, admitting blame without pointing fingers at anyone else. Yet the reality is that Shedeur failed long before the game even began. It's clear that Stefanski, through his questionable judgments, put Shedeur in an impossible scenario. By not giving him the required reps with the first team and placing him in a lineup full of players who weren't even expected to make the roster, Stanczyk basically set him up for failure. Shedeur was not given the chance to succeed, and his lack of preparation was a direct result of coaching incompetence. As analysts like Ocho Cinco have pointed out, the system around Shedeur was flawed, and the burden falls on Stefanski's shoulders. The Browns' treatment of Shedeur was not only unfair but also damaging to his development. Now, with the added pressure and criticism heaping on, things are going to get rougher for him. With his high-profile name and the attention it brings, Shedeur will have to combat both external expectations and internal struggles inside any squad he ends up with. But despite all the odds stacked against him, Shedeur is ready for the challenge. He's determined to get better, put in more effort, and disprove his skeptics. The path ahead may be rough, but Shedeur Sanders has shown he has the passion and mentality to overcome whatever difficulties come his way. But what do you think? Was Shedeur Sanders really destined to fail? Or did he make errors that he must accept responsibility for? Did Stefanski ought to have given him a better opportunity with the first-team reps? Or was it just a matter of Shedeur not stepping up when the opportunity came? How do you feel about the way the media and analysts are depicting this situation? Is Shedeur being unfairly criticized, or is there some validity to the idea that he's being treated as a scapegoat? And most importantly, do you think Shedeur can bounce back from this, or has the harm already been done? We'd love to hear your ideas in the comments below.